The Trump regime's attempt to freeze federal spending for grants and loans issued on Monday night lasted only 2 days. The move, which was met with confusion and outrage, was seen as a radical attempt to reshape federal spending and was criticized by everybody, Republicans and eventually Democrats, when they got around to it. Trump claimed that the freeze was necessary to identify and eliminate waste and fraud, DEI, wokeness. But it was a chaotic and poorly executed move that caused unnecessary harm to programs and people all over the country and all over the world. You know, the United States pays an enormous amount of money to practically everybody. I mean, there's some exceptions, of course, but like practically everyone in the United States somehow benefits from a direct federal payment, whether it's because you need to eat or you need to go to the doctor or you need to have someone take care of one of your relatives or anything like that. Even business interests, even, social systems, organizations that have a mandate to take care of people or do things for the government. This also is international. I mean, there are countries where we have agreed to pay part of their healthcare system or part of their educational system because we want to enjoy a good relationship with that country. It benefits the United States in some way for doing these payments. I mean, we pay for HIV vaccines in Africa. And I read just yesterday, no more. In fact, the ones that they have there today, they can't use. Not possible. Can't give them out even though they're paid for and already deployed. So Trump's plan here is really about destabilization. It's about creating turmoil. It's about gathering power. It's about seeing what the limits of his power is early on. Like the Chiron on the screen says, it's been 10 days, but it feels like a million. There has been so many things coming through in the last week. And today there was a terrible plane crash. In the last days, there's been, of course, the shutdown, but RFK Jr. and this terrible HHS, Pete Hegseth going out and saying that the military isn't woke and it doesn't need diversity. I mean, just it's day after day after day. So I thought today we would do something a little fun and, see what happens. Now, this is the part of my show that I really enjoy. This is when I'm taking time out for the other dipshits of the day. Now, whether it's just poor choices or outrageous acts or simply crimes, these are the dipshits that I picked for today. This is the very first episode of Dipshits. So before we start this first time, if it's not clear already, I am blatantly stealing this from one of my all-time political and broadcast favorites, Keith Olbermann. Mr. Olbermann has been entertaining us with his worst persons in the world for a very long time. It's a great bit. I will be lousy thieving it from him, but I'm gonna do it anyways. So if I ever become super rich and famous because of this, I will let him know and maybe buy him a dinner, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, okay. Who's the first ever dipshit on our show? That is my friend, Senator Bob Menendez, former New Jersey senator who has been sentenced to 11 years in prison for bribery and corruption charges. Menendez was found guilty of accepting gifts, including gold bars and cash in exchange for helping foreign governments. Prosecutors had sought a 15-year sentence for him. I mean, that's an enormous amount of time. I mean, you'd think you're a white-collar criminal, and you're not thinking you're going to get 15 years, but 15 years is what they wanted, while Menendez's lawyers had called for a shorter sentence with some community service. The judge gave him 11 years instead. That's a long time. Menendez's co-conspirators, Fred Daibis, Wael Hanna, and Jose Uribe, were also sentenced to prison for various terms. Now, Menendez has denied wrongdoing and plans to appeal the guilty verdict. His wife, Nadine, goes on trial in March for bribery and extortion in support of Bob's crimes. Now, I don't have the photos here because I wanted to make it simple, but you can see on the screen a taste of what those photos were like. Gold bars and cash. Now, when the FBI searched his home, they found gold bars and a shit ton of cash laying around everywhere. And basically, it was just a crime menu that they were able to read. So good luck, Bob. I don't think your appeal's going anywhere, and I think you're pretty happy you didn't get 15 years. You can just spend 11 years in the pokey playing whatever, backgammon. Okay. Dipshit number 2. Really, really great. Great one. I love this one. This is none other than our friend RFK Jr. Now, he faced a tense confirmation hearing for his nomination to Trump's Health and Human Services Secretary position. Democrats, they questioned him and they grilled him over his offensive statements on vaccines and abortion rights and a bunch of other issues. He denied being anti-vaccine, but his past comments on the topic were clear and they were brought up during the hearing. He refused not to commit about taking financial gains from lawsuits against drug companies or money from infant onesies with unvaxxed, unafraid, and no vax, no problem written on these tiny pieces of clothing. Republicans loved it, and he's probably going to be confirmed. They had a great day with the whole thing. Way to go, Bobby. And the Democrats, they actually did pretty well. I saw some of the hearings live, and they were, pretty forceful. I mean, Bernie Sanders particularly was great. He really went out at him and hit him hard. So, what are you going to do? It's one of those situations where you don't really have a chance. I mean, in these hearings, they're just not going to move the needle. The senators know how they're going to vote already, right? It's party lines. I'm disappointed in some other nominations where Marco Rubio was fully confirmed, 99-0. Every Democrat also voted yes, which is a travesty. It's unbelievable that happened. But in this case, I think all the Democrats are going to vote no, hopefully. There's a few holdouts, maybe Sheldon Whitehouse, we don't know. But it should be 0 Democrat votes. But there was one really awesome thing that happened, and it was Donald Trump to the rescue. I'm sorry, Mike Pence to the rescue. So Mike Pence posted one of the all-time greatest troll videos you've ever seen. So let's have a look at it.
RFK Jr. is a Democrat plant, a radical left liberal.
Not even a year ago.
A lot of people think that Jr. is a conservative.
Nobody calls him Jr., by the way.
He's more liberal than anybody running on the Democrat side. Jr. is totally anti-gun and extreme environmentalist.
Jr. is Trump's son.
Green news scammers look very conservative by comparison. And he's anti-military and he's anti-vet. He's an extreme liberal. He's radical left. And so don't think you're going to vote for him and feel good. He's a radical left Democrat.
Tell us how you feel. Is he radical?
Junior, because our country would last about a year or two longer than it would with Junior. It would collapse almost immediately.
I mean, that's brilliant, I mean, talk about, Mike Pence coming up for the win. I mean, Mike Pence is a terrible human being, and we didn't want to see him hung, but he's still a terrible human being. But nice job. Well done. Okay. And for the penultimate dipshit of the day, we have a guy who's been on the job one day. Not even one day, maybe less than a day. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. He said today the deadly collision between American Airlines flight and a military helicopter was absolutely preventable. He also said, obviously, it is not standard to have aircraft collide. I want to be clear about this. Now, it's a tragedy. I'm not laughing at the tragedy, but I'm laughing at the absurdity of these people. They're just unbelievably crazy. This is like when Trump was describing the hurricane, I don't know, a few years ago, and he said, in terms of water, it's very wet. I mean, they can't think, they can't speak. They're complete morons. All of them MAGA people are just idiots from start to finish. And Duffy just stepped in it perfectly well today. He was just confirmed his role just the day before the crash and agrees with President Trump's assessment that the incident, quote, looks like it should have been prevented. That's just dumb. It should have been prevented. Yeah, of course it should have been prevented. I mean, as you said, it's obviously not standard to have aircrafts collide. So he is our biggest dipshit of the day. Thank you very much, Sean Duffy. You're a winner. Awesome. Great for you. So very short day, very short video for me today. Going to try to do these more often. It's really hard to kind of get into the feel of doing this. I see a lot of people doing videos and they do them very well. I think what I should do is go back and watch the ones they started with. Maybe I have more confidence then. But that's where we're going to leave it for today. So thanks a lot. Do all of that great, liking and subscribing and things like that. It really helps me. It's really nice to see if someone enjoys the work you do. Also, if you want to see it again, you get a reminder. So that's great. Check us out on Blue Sky and on the website, difficultopinions.com. It's all there. And until next time, cheers.